Um, Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time zone you're in, and welcome to another Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil stream. I am Mr. JGT. I will be wandering around Cyrodiil, showing you some of the delights of Bravil. With me today, I have Claire, who is one of our leads, as well as the lead of our interiors and dungeons. We have Ria, who is one of our head writers. We have Thingy Person, who is one of our implementation leads, and we have Ware, who does just about everything because he's amazing like that. I am also head landscaper, just to let you all know who I am. We will be taking questions throughout, so please do put them in the comments, and we will try answer as many as we can as we go throughout the day. So I hope you all are ready to go, and let's get into game and get moving. So today we are starting off in the Heartlands. I'll quick show the map because I know everybody loves to see it. Just south of the Imperial City. And we're going to start by going around Hell's Gate. Right, so let's torture some people. No, I don't want to train up my archery right now. Oh, what do you sell? Oh. Okay. You should have a quest. Why don't you want to talk to me properly? You have a quest, though.
Good morning.
It seems in typical Beyond Skyrim fashion, dialogue isn't working properly.
Yeah, so all the dialogue for a settlement is contained in a quest, and that quest seems not to have started.
This is a fresh save, so... Right. I am going to quickly use a save that I know it works on.
This is a classic start to a
This is a
stream.
classic start to one of our streams. You gotta love it. Where are you?
Still less buggy than vanilla Skyrim.
Where has that gone?
Actually, I guess whilst we're waiting, are there any questions we can be answering?
Will Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil be modular, or are you still constrained by the workspace or world space of Papyrus?
What is that? Apparently the thingy I had is completely broken.
Sure, I understand the
I'm just going to
that
restart.
question. So Cyrodiil will be modular. Cyrodiil won't be modular, but then Beyond Skyrim as a whole will be modular. So we'll have Cyrodiil, Iliac Bay, Roscrea, Morrowind, and various different mods that you can either install all of them and they'll work together, or you can just install one or the other. I'm not sure if that was the question that was being answered.
What was the question, sorry? It sounded like, are we releasing it county by county? Which the answer is no.
question about VR support. If Bruma works fine, then we don't test on VR necessarily, but there's no reason it would all of Cyrodiil wouldn't work fine.
I know people have got it working on VR Bruma, but apparently it's a bit of a struggle because it seems that VR is not the world's biggest fan of making stuff work properly.
I think once she's got a VR headset, so I can imagine that he'd be quite keen on making it all work. So we can't promise anything, but probably.
Hopefully, because I want to get a VR headset because I want to go to the Imperial City in VR because I think that's going to be amazing. Let's try this now.
Will you guys do some quests?
Here we go.
Bravil not finished yet. We will attempt to do some quests if any of the NPCs will actually talk to Mr.
They
JGT.
work now.
Good stuff.
So I've just spoke to a wood elf hunter in Pell's Gate who is complaining that there is a goblin stealing from the fields. So let's just cheat. Putting god mode on just as so I don't die all the time. Right, so obviously here's where it's broken down. A clue.
God mode on so you don't get taken out by an angry chicken.
Well, you know, you might hit a chicken in Pell's Gate and suddenly have the entire town against you.
So we've got another question as well. Will the cities be a bit larger and will there be any new villages in Cyrodiil? So yeah, I think most of our cities are a little bit larger than the Oblivion ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're generally, I think it's about 2/3 bigger. Not 2/3 bigger, they're about 1/3 bigger. 50% bigger than they were in Oblivion, some of them, in terms of house numbers. Some of them are fairly close because they were quite busy in Oblivion. But yes, we have increased the number of houses in a lot of places, so they don't feel like proper cities. Hopefully once we get to Bravil we kind of understand what it means, and I'll show off more stuff later on in other streams once we've got more areas to a similar level. And yes, there are higher numbers of settlements than there were in Oblivion. If anyone is big on lore, then hopefully you'll recognise many of the names of many of the towns that have been added. For example, just outside the Bruma area there is Mountain Watch, which was mentioned in the...
They're saying your audio is a bit loud, game audio.
Terribly sorry. I did turn it down earlier because I thought it was loud, but it's obviously still too loud. There we go, that should be better. But yeah, Mountains Watch is a area that was added by the novels, the Lords of Souls novels, and we've got those here now in our Cyrodiil.
I've just had an update from Wanshi. He's not joining us just yet, but he's been watching. He said he's tested it in VR and it works really well, so that sounds very hopeful.
Oh, excellent.
I think it'd be amazing in VR. I really like it around here, all this sort of the sage and wildflowers. It just looks so different to Skyrim.
Yeah, that's the good bit about it being this far south from Bruma, is you really start to get this feel that, hey, I'm not in Skyrim anymore. Which, you know, after, well, 9 years now of playing in Skyrim, I think everyone's ready for a bit of warmer weather.
somebody's asked whether we were able to make the world space for Cyrodiil bigger, or whether it will be the same size as Skyrim. I think it's a bit bigger, right?
Skyrim doesn't use the full world space limit. It only uses about a third of it. Actually, if you look at how much, is quite a lot. Skyrim could be a little bit bigger and still fit within its world space quite well. So yeah, but Cyrodiil uses the whole thing. So for example, quick look at the old map. The pass where you enter Bruma all the way at the top north, that is the very top of the world space, and then the bottom of the world space is all the way down the bottom of Elsewhere, and it'll break at the bottom of Elsewhere basically. So we've got that constraint top down, and then Cyrodiil is actually so wide we can't actually fit it in one world space. We've had to carve off part of it to the east and turn that into its own little world space, which luckily it's the Valus Mountains, so we've been able to naturally make it, not add some big artificial border that says you cannot go this way. You know, there are actually cliffs and hills and stuff which allow you to, you know, it's immersive. We've not gone, you cannot go this way, and leave it at that. I also love, everyone can probably see the wonderful clothing that we've got, which really helps sell You're Not in Skyrim Anymore. And I think the art team have done a great job in doing this so far. And they've got plenty more underway, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, we actually have different clothing types. So in Oblivia, there was always the split between Calavia and Nibony, but it was more of a theoretical split. It didn't really feel that different. Whereas we've really tried to run with that idea. So you'll find different crops being grown there, lots of different sort of practices, tableware, even cookingware, and then especially clothing and things as well. So hopefully you'll be able to tell which side of the country you are on based on sort of how everyone is and behaving and the type of things they're up to. And yeah, this, I don't know if anyone's played Bruma, but this clothing's not in Bruma because it's more of the Nibonese clothing, I believe.
There are still a few placeholder assets spread about the place.
Cowden being one of them.
Yes.
I feel like you could take a minute to explain what the quest you're doing actually is, because we've been taking questions whilst you've been doing this quest in the background, and I don't know what's going on.
Oh, terribly sorry. So basically, the elder of the village is worried about her twin grandchildren. She's worried that there's something on their mind. So we've asked one of them, and she says she's not comfortable talking to a stranger. You've got to help her brother first. So we've gone to ask her brother, and he's wanting to play a trick on someone who lives in the village, who said some not very nice things to his sister. So now we've gone and gathered some cow dung for that, and we are now going to return to the brother, and he's going to tell us what we need to do next. I have got the dung.
You got the dung?
I got the dung. Right, let's go annoy someone. So now what is happening is the twins have decided to pelt his house with the cow dung that we got. No, and this doesn't seem to be playing.
It's a shame we don't have any VA in game yet, but that's the sort of the last thing to go in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, these guys seem to have stalled.
Scenes are notoriously hard to. They're notoriously buggy when you don't have VA over them. Even with Fusro Go installed, they sometimes don't seem to work.
Yeah. So what should be happening here is these guys have a go at this guy, say he's a bit of a nasty person, and he complains about them, and then they go about their lives, and we can then talk to the girl, and she tells us she has a crush on a guy in Bravil, and she wants him to move here because her brother wants to leave and go adventuring, but he's expected to kind of take over the farm. So she's going to take over the farm with her new boyfriend. So since these guys don't want to play ball, we're going to head to Bravil.
You can set stage to skip the scene if you
I
want.
don't know what the command is to skip that scene.
It's been put in the chat.
Has it been put in the chat?
You want me to?
Also, I'm not sure you actually have Fusrodo active.
I do. I activated it yesterday, and this all worked fine yesterday when I tried it. So I don't know what's going on.
I just copied it into
Yeah. This is what happens, folks, when you test stuff and try to find bugs. It's still broken, did. I'm just gonna head for Bravil, I think. Unfortunately, that one's not working unlike it was yesterday.
Someone earlier asked if we could go via an Ayleid ruin.
We will be visiting an Ayleid ruin later on in the stream, do not worry. And you can see, if you see a Dwemer ruin symbol on the compass at the top, that means there's a Ayleid ruin nearby. Unfortunately, we don't have all of them in game yet, so I'm just going to one that I know has an interior. So yeah, we will. Don't worry, you will get your Ayleid interior fix soon. But for now, we will head off to Bravil through the easternmost part of the West Weald.
Everyone really seems to want to see the sea. We might do that at the end, I guess.
I can show them a sea. There's a sea. And then there is the other sea. Ta-da! The sea.
I think it's supposed to be in a bit more detail.
I can quickly pop over there at the end.
Yeah.
Or once we have been to Bravil and experienced the fun and excitement there.
Gold Coast is always good for a holiday.
What are the buildings you've been running past?
That is the small town of Fargil. One of the, I believe it exists as just an inn or something in Oblivion, but we've now expanded it to be a small town, which is what we've done for many of the inns in Oblivion.
Ah, so that is the place of a particular quest involving a particular Daedric prince.
Ah.
Plot spoiler. Is Bravil finished? Kind of.
It's finished exterior-wise.
It's finished-ish.
Yeah,
It's
we
just got
need the
a
voice
little bit
acting
kind
in.
of writing to do, and then the writing to be implemented. Basically, I think is where we're at.
I'd say it's in like the final stages where it's just a lot of bug fixing and stuff. And VA, which is always the last thing to go in, won't go in for a while yet because we do it in big batches. So.
So here is the town of Ione, which has come under attack, unfortunately. The reasons which will be explained in one of our major quest lines, and by whom will also be explained. But for now, I'm going to leave it as a little teaser for everyone.
Did you go to the length of making the map and world accurate to that of Oblivion?
Yes, we took kind of Oblivion's map and basic view of Cyrodiil and kind of made that as kind of our baseline, and then we've kind of built up from there. So for example, the trees here, these are maple trees of different types. You've got a nice kind of regular maple, and then the red Japanese maple, which is the same as what there was in Oblivion around here, but we've obviously made them much nicer than they were in the previous game that you saw. As if there's one thing that Oblivion was, it was a little bit lackluster when it came to its exterior level design. But hopefully now people can see what happens when you kind of bring that all together.
Someone's asked how many cities are near completion. That's actually sort of a tricky, well, it's not a tricky question to answer. So after Bruma, Bravil's probably our most finished city, but we sort of work on them in phases. So landscaping moves into a city first. So we've got all sorts of cities landscaped that we haven't necessarily shown off yet. So things like Kvatch, which I think you probably will have seen, Coral, Skingrad, I think Leowin's done now. So landscaping's actually really quite far advanced. And then once we've done that and we've got most of the writing done, we start on the interiors. So hopefully when we go to Bravil, you'll see that all the interiors are done and there's a lot of NPC implementation. So we're a bit further behind with the interiors. So we've sort of finished Bruma, Bravil, we're Kvatch, we're most of the way through Skimgrad and Coral, and then we're hoping to begin work on the next few cities next year. And then once we've done that and got all the interiors done, then finally implementation can move in. So we're at different phases in different cities. So Bravil's definitely sort of our most advanced city after Bruma, but that doesn't mean that's the only one we're working on. We're just in different places with different cities. So we've actually got quite a lot of progress since Bruma. See if I can find any more questions whilst we're running.
We're nearly at a place where we can do a quest, at least.
Oh, this one's easy. Will we have the physical ability to get to the Imperial City? Yes, absolutely. Just not today.
Maybe tomorrow.
Oh no! Do we find out what's happened to the horse, or are we going straight on to Bravil?
We should be finding out what happened to the horse, but it doesn't seem to be working. I think so.
Sorry for second guessing you, but maybe you didn't launch SKSC last time.
I will quickly launch the game. I'll quickly do a quick save and quickly double
on Twitch, are we only answering questions from YouTube? No, I'm flicking between the two. But obviously we'll miss quite a few questions. And one from Twitch, will Bruma get more quests once the rest of the province is done? Yes, absolutely, in that we left, I don't know if you've noticed when we played, but we left a few of the houses empty. So that's to make sure that Bruma actually sort of links into the rest of the world space and will be involved in some of the sort of major story arcs, as well as just the more local quests that we've released for the Bruma mod as well. So yeah, that should be additional content for Bruma, but possibly not loads of additional content for Bruma.
It seems to have fixed itself. Reloading
Good.
has worked, so I can do quests now. Right, so I've arrived at the farm outside of Bravil to find a man grieving over a dead horse. And apparently there is a creature attacking. So let's find out what we need to do next.
Oh, there's another comment. Someone's asking, is there going to be voice acting or just reading? Yes, absolutely, there will be voice acting, but it's basically the last thing we do before we're ready to release. So all the quests in Bravil are implemented now, but they just don't have voice acting. So today it's just going to be text-based, but for the full release it'll be full voice acting like it was for Bruma.
So I'm just talking to this guy, asking him about the creature. And he obviously has a bit of a crush on his employer's daughter. Right, now I need to go search the beast. Oh, hello.
So how do you all come up with the names and make sure that they're lore friendly?
Well, there's a great resource on UASP wiki, but generally the writers are pretty well versed in the lore anyway. So, but whenever we're stuck for names, there's always lots of resources to use on the internet. Coming up with hundreds of names over and over again can be like a drain on your creativity sometimes, I guess. But there's plenty of writers. It's not the hardest thing in the world. So now this woman has decided that she wants to come and help you, correct?
Yes, she doesn't want to just sit around on this farm. She wants to... Another person who wants to go on an adventure a bit. But she says she knows where the beast is, so I'm going to follow her.
There's a question that asks, what job is most needed at the moment on Beyond Skyrim? I mean, I think we're all going to ask different things. Everything?
Yeah, all of them.
We're not bad with exteriors actually at the moment.
That's true.
We're slowly getting there, so I'm less worried about that. So we probably don't need that many exterior level designers. Because we are...
I'll take writers, editors, implementers.
I think
Editors is a bottleneck on most of the provinces, I think, and then really specialised skill sets, so things like making armour and clothing, not that many people can do that. Implementation as well, so you don't really need that until you're quite late stage, but that's always been a bit of a bottleneck.
So this is clearly quite a hard fight, and I think you would have died if you didn't have Godmode on.
Yes, yeah. This is why when I'm doing a stream, I'll do it in God. Testing it out, I would have done like thingy and just been murdered immediately.
It's very cool though. I like that it's called the Beast of Bayroan Farm as well.
Yeah. I do find that note a bit difficult to read though.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Will COVID affect development? So far, it hasn't. I don't think.
It's kind of been a positive in some respects because it has given people a bit more time to work on the project. But it also has
Probably
the
net
negative
neutral,
effect of,
isn't it?
yeah, but it has had the effect of, being cooped up inside doing Beyond Skyrim work. You do start to get a bit of you do want to
Yeah,
just go
really.
outside a bit.
Some of us had a lot less time early on because of work and trying to cope with that, but then other people had more time because they were locked down. So yeah, it's been a strange year, but overall I don't think it's affected progress that much.
I will head back. I just want to quickly see what's in this abandoned shack.
Oh, we've got a question that's probably for writing actually. So what are we going to do about followers? Will each one have a quest to get them to follow you, or is it similar to Skyrim with each follower having different requirements to gain them?
So there's like every follower is unique, right? Obviously, but there's like 3 tiers of followers that we have, which we have the normal followers, the bog standard followers, like in Skyrim, the ones that you just unlock through a quest, or you pay them because they're a mercenary and they just follow you around and do stuff for you. We have like followers plus, who are usually gained from quests or from dialogue. Those are the ones who will have like extra lines here and there, who have a little bit more of their own personality and will react to things a little bit more. And then we have a small roster of about 7 followers, like proper followers, like more like companions, sort of like companions from a BioWare game or another type of game, a bit more like along the vein of Serana, who have their own storylines, their own quests, and who some of whom they have their own story arcs and can even be romanced as well. So there's generally 3 tiers, and yeah, depending on which one the follower falls into, it might be different of how you get them.
Unfortunately, Skyrim has just died on me,
Uh-oh.
as is tradition.
When did you last save?
Just before that quest.
Remember to launch SKSE.
I have, yes.
Someone says it doesn't matter if Skyrim's crashed because luckily we were playing Cyrodiil.
Right, so let's go kill it again. Or I suppose we've basically done that quest, so I don't think we need to necessarily do it again, because we were just handed in. And it also keeps what you do towards the end a secret. However, I'm going to go grab that cloth again, because that did open up an extra little quest.
If you need to kill the beast the second time, you can always use kill.
Yeah. Oh,
Already using God mode, so might as well.
hello.
That is not Oblivion music in the background. It's from our very own composer Daniel Ran, although it uses a lot of themes from the Oblivion soundtrack.
We've had a few questions about Xbox. Unfortunately, no. At the moment, as things stand, unless the requirements change about how much you can actually have in terms of mod size on the Xbox, we can't make Cyrodiil available on Xbox. We would love to, but that's something you have to take up with the manufacturer.
So I believe this is a quest that you can acquire in Bravil, but obviously you've circumnavigated it by going here first, meaning you can just bring it straight to him.
Yes, that is what I've done. I'm taking his lovely armor. And then we can go into Bravil proper.
This is Skyrim Special Edition for the person that asked. The full Cyrodiil province won't be releasing on Legendary Edition.
Yeah, due to the basically we moved over to Special Edition because it was basically impossible for us to actually play the mod on Legendary Edition, so we have made the full transfer over.
Zombies tend to haunt caves.
And now we're in Bravil.
Decide to go
Yeah.
treasure hunting.
Right, so let's go talk to some people. Yeah, there's plenty of dogs in Bravil.
I love Bravil.
I love Bravil, but that's because I made it.
It's just so slummy. It's what
go.
Riften should have been.
Oh, you've been accosted by trying to. This is the Synod Conclave, which is the equivalent of the Mages Guild, effectively.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna burn this place down. Oh. And they don't take kindly to that.
I wonder if there was supposed to be more dialogue after you selected that option, because that seemed abrupt. But anyway. That's still quite a funny little dialogue option. I really appreciate that one.
Don't have many herbs actually.
Wow, that's quite aggressive. Why does it matter to you?
Hmm.
Grumpy player character.
So this guy is a healer who wants herbs. And he's helping some poor sick person.
Hello.
Hello, child.
There's been a request to have a look at the Bravil guards.
Yep, there's one.
They do have some really beautiful armor, so.
Oh.
how many quests are currently written for Bravil? Off the top of my head, I'd say there's about, in total, there's probably 7 or 8 full quests, and then minor miscellaneous quests and tasks. There's probably around 20, but I'm not sure. It's roughly, that's the rough ratio that we're going for most of the cities. Some larger ones will have slightly more. Some more important ones might have slightly more as well. But yeah.
The Imperial City will definitely have more.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not excluding the Imperial. A lot more.
You will not be bored in the Imperial City, I think, is what we're planning on. There's another guard.
There's a lot of love for the different guard outfits.
Somebody asked whether we were matching the gritty tone of Skyrim for armors or going with Oblivion's more high fantasy approach.
Don't actually have anyone from the art department in
Yeah.
chat, do we?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's sort of like a mix, right?
Yeah.
There is some stuff that's inspired by Oblivion's armors, but like obviously it has to feel like it fits into Skyrim's world. So it's a bit of a mix.
Yeah, I think it's bringing concepts from Oblivion and like how the armor was in Oblivion, and then just kind of Skyrimifying it a bit, in a sense.
Someone is asking to see the Lucky Lady statue. That doesn't exist anymore, but
No.
there is another statue that we could look at.
Yes, we
At
can
some
go
point.
have a look at that statue. We will just talk to these people. And that boy is half in the bed. No wonder he's
Do
ill.
love how slummy it all is.
Ah, damn it, it's the wrong side. Oh no, it's the right side. Because if you look, he's all right now. No one laughed at my joke. I'm wasted on this team.
Yes, there'll be plenty of player homes. Just like in Skyrim, there'll be at least one for every city, perhaps more, depending on quests and whatever. But no guarantees on the more bit. I'm not sure. At least one for every city, though.
We do have some outside the cities planned as like big quest rewards, but we've not fully fleshed those ideas out yet.
Yeah, and there's going to be a bit like Skyrim. It's going to be a variety of sizes. So I think the one in Bravil is quite cosy, with a nice look over the open sewer. And then some of them will be a bit bigger.
What kind of significant changes can be expected to be seen in the current Bravil since 200 years have passed?
It's very much the same in some respects. It did have a brief stint of independence, did Bravil. Just after the Oblivion crisis, before the Medes took the throne. And basically since then it's kind of been chugging along, very much similar to how it was in Oblivion, but now there's like gangs running the town a bit, and the new count is Count Tyrenius, who is kind of wanting to put a stop to that. He is trying to put his foot down on the gangs there, and worried about the whole state of the empire as a whole. Is the Count. He is one of the candidates you can choose in our main quest line to name a new emperor.
It's also worth mentioning, you said the new Count, Terentius. Technically, the old Count was also Count
Serenity.
Durant.
Yeah.
It is the same family from Oblivion, but it's
Yes.
200 years later, so it's a different person.
No, it's not. It's not a vampire.
Yeah, that's a different count. That's the the new count is his name is Pertinax, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
He is a descendant of the original count, so the family hasn't changed much. It's worth noting that some cities have changed quite a lot in 200 years, and others have changed very little, which we think is fairly realistic. Some cities, which obviously we can't show you today, but some cities, when you see them, you'll see that we've put a lot of effort into making them look different and even feel different. And some preserve their kind of their looks and their feels from the old game. Is a balancing act, I think.
So this is quite a lot of wordy dialogue. Talking to this guy.
Should be a lot more interesting if it had voice acting.
Yes.
Oh, we've got the obligatory "is Hasseldor still alive?" question.
Oh, we get one of those all the time. Wait and see.
I mean-
Over to writing.
He was dead in Oblivion too, as a vampire.
Well, yeah, technically, as a
Yeah,
vampire.
he's undead, technically.
So yes, he is dead. And now we've got nighttime Bravil.
I'm sure we'll do a stream in Skingrad at some point in the future, as that's coming along quite well right now. So maybe we can talk more about Hasseldor then.
Yes. I think that's the best option. What I really love about our Bravil is we've got all the layers, so you can see like people walking around on the upper levels. I really love that.
Perfect for sneaking around
See it,
in a bit of
reporting.
late night burglary.
Exactly.
Or the quest where you have to sneak some alchemical waste out of the. Just shelling my own quest here. The quest where you have to sneak some.
I can go
Sneak some
start said
Wait.
quest.
Within the walls.
We should, yeah, we need to go and visit the alchemy because I did the interior for it as well. So yeah, let's go and do
I'm
that.
gonna go
There's
to.
absolutely no ulterior motive.
I'm gonna go to the inn and stay there.
I was gonna say it's
for
getting
the
late. We
night.
need some rest.
And who's the want to see inside?
Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Like to rent a
So
room.
this is the relatively posh inn in Bravil, isn't it?
Yes, relatively.
There's another quest that starts here as well, I believe, although we're not doing that one today.
No, if I do everything in Bravil, people won't have a reason to play.
Good point. But just to show people the density of the quest and how much there really is in the game right now, we've come a really long way. Just to point out the fact that you can't walk 5 feet in Bravo without someone giving you a quest at the moment, which is great. Which is
Yeah.
exactly what we want.
It's how quickly it's come alive that's quite impressive as well. Oh, stool bug.
Do we want to talk about QA?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So, one of the things people mentioned what we need, one of the things we're going to really start looking for is
Speaking of which,
speaking of, yeah, is we're going to start to look for people to help us kind of find bugs like this. So we're going to be looking for people who are basically going to play the mod on repeat until the end of time, or we release, whichever comes first. Which we will put more information about that at a later date, because we want to make sure the people we get are not going to just want it to play the mod. We want to make sure you're going to be an active and useful member of the team. So yeah, we're going to put out a test for that, similar to if anyone tried to become part of the Bruma beta is going to be similar to that. And yes, we'll send you to find bugs like this, where there is a woman pretending she's leaning on something and floating in midair. And you will be sent to find that and go through dungeons, do all the quests, etc. etc. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out, because we will be, like I say, putting out a call for them soon. So yeah. And now I've come to what has replaced the Lucky Lady statue.
This is the statue of Mara,
Yes.
for anyone who's not familiar with the divines. Considering this is the city of Mara, we have the chapel of Mara just in the background as well. It's a very pretty statue. The divine statues all look very good. There's a few other ones as well.
Dog.
Is this an EMB, or are you just using weathers?
This is just weathers. I don't use EMBs. This is how pretty our thing is.
This is out of the box. This is
out of the
special.
box. This is what you get if you play when we are eventually released. This is what it'll look like on your machine. Hello, beggar man. Have a coin.
Yeah, can we knock off the request to see the sea for a minute? It's getting in the way of everyone else asking other questions.
Just to add on to the QA discussion, yes, so we are going to be needing lots of QA testers, but you should all be very excited, because the main reason that we need so many testers is because we've done so much stuff recently, and we're gearing up to do even more. We've made a lot of progress in the last year, so there's a lot of finished content essentially that now needs testing. So yeah, it's a good measure of our continued good progress as well.
Ooh, I've handed in the stuff, and I've got a choice. Do I take the robes of charisma, or do I have some deep-pocketed robes? And I'm gonna let everyone in the chat kind of decide that.
I think I'm seeing more deep pockets.
Yeah, although charisma is seeming to come back. It is very much 50-50. Alright, waffle guy. Deep pockets and then take the other one from his corpse. Okay, it's a bit worrying.
We might have to save and do both.
You have to wait 2 days for them to be created. I've played this quest before, so we have to choose one now. I probably can make a poll, but
Just choose one.
yeah, we'll just.
Another way.
Gone for the charisma. Right. Now I need to go 2 days. Is there anything else I can? Ah,
What is the name of this?
fits
Place?
so good.
Oh, love it.
Like spelt so, as in to so. And in his things, you can see some of our custom divine amulets.
That is one thing I really like about Beyond Skyrim. Actually. Roscree's got his own amulets as well, and I imagine everywhere else will do as well. So you can, depending on which region you're in, you can get quite a nice jewellery collection.
just skimmed
No.
over some really nice new stuff in there very quickly. That was sly of you.
Yeah, and leaving it has caused it to crash. So let's start it back up. Right, let's hand that back in.
Is another one for writing. Are we going to have our own version of the new Daedric quests?
Sorry, what's that question?
Are we going to have our own version of new Daedric quests? Or are we going to have new Daedric quests, I guess?
Okay, right. So yes, yes is the short answer. The long answer is yes. Might not be every single Daedric prince, but most of them.
Right.
Someone's asking, will Skyrim together work with Beyond Skyrim? I think they actually did a playtest video
Yeah, they did on Bruma.
where they went to Bruma, so presumably yes. We would love that actually.
I don't know if they're, because I don't know how their quest syncing works. I don't know if our quests are going to immediately work. But it should at least be.
Someone asked, are all of the counts in Cyrodiil candidates for the Ruby Throne? No, there are 4 candidates. We won't talk about all of them right now because it would take a while, and we want you to find out on your own. But the information is out there. I think we've talked about it on the community Discord before. But there are 4 main candidates, and you will have to pick one. Technically, I think at the moment the plan is actually there are 5 candidates, but 2 of them are from the same family, so you have to pick one of those 2.
Right, here's the alchemist.
Someone's asking, will the Dragonborn be able to get the Ruby Throne?
No.
No.
It's probably going to be the first mod that's made though.
Yeah, I can imagine there'll be a High King of Skyrim type mod, but for.
Oh, this is one of mine. So this lady is having problems with her business because she hasn't been able to get rid of her alchemical waste recently, and it's causing a horrible smell.
She's skirting environmental regulations, that's what she's doing.
We've
Elder
all been
Scrolls Greenpeace will be on her lickety
She has been dumping her alchemical waste in the river, and then the Count caught up to her and told her to stop, and now she doesn't know what to do. So she's going to ask you to help her with that.
Need a hand.
Will more cooking recipes be added? I assume so.
Yes, because we've got quite a lot of new ingredients, new food types.
I'm assuming if I say, what if I dump the waste for you? I've then got to sneak it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few ways you can do this quest. You can just give her money, and then she gives you a discount at the store, or you can get rid of the waste for her, which is a fun little quest.
It's Bravil, let's go a bit sketchy.
So there's a guard outside her front door, and the guards will stop you if you get too close to them, carrying the barrel. But you can exit through the top floor to sneak around, which is why when you were talking about the walkways earlier, I mentioned it. Now, the barrel actually weighs a hell of a lot, but because you're on a fresh character, it hasn't weighed you down. Most characters, when they pick up that barrel, will be over encumbered, and the point of it is
weight
to walk around
200.
slowly.
Like, I'm only 9 off on a fresh character.
But she does give you some potions which allow you to run quickly in order to escape the guards. So now you have to sneak past the guards and dump it in the river without anyone seeing you.
Don't give me up, kitty cat.
Oh, we've got another writing one. Will the Thieves Guild have a major presence in Cyrodiil? And if so, will it have any connection to the Skyrim Guild?
The Thieves Guild is a quest line that we're writing. It will not have any connection to the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, and at the beginning of the game, there is no major presence either. In fact, yeah, I won't go into too much spoiler details, but it is a quest line.
Where have they seen me?